Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back again doing another video. This kind of prompted me to do another video today. I was just on Edward Anderson's channel, not on the panel or anything, but just in the chat, kind of chatting it up with the other family to talk about certain things. And one of the things that came up again was talking about the whole economics and the data and stuff from the Tone Talks channel. And I noticed, once again, people keep dismissing certain data to prop up some type of narrative that, hey, if I can do it, we all can do it. And that's one of the things I disagree with. Hey, excuse me, I'm out here right now walking my dog, though. So, excuse me about that. Yeah. We once again doing this thing, well, if I can do it, how come the rest of you niggas can't do it? And that the data somehow is misleading. And these are really the conservative talking points. Now, this is where I disagree with Tone Talks with, is that he's a very firm supporter of the Democratic Party and of the Democrat Party. So that I don't agree with him on it. And some of the stuff that he said about Claude Anderson, and it's just a bunch of stuff in the don't vote thing, like his concerns against all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with that kind of stuff. Only thing I really agree with is the data. That's the stuff you can't refute, because he does have economic scholars backing that stuff up. So, we can't really dismiss that, but I've seen people try to dismiss it because of who it's coming from. I don't give a damn who the information really comes from. As long as it's coming from a factual standpoint. It could be a white guy, a white woman, or it could be a Klansman talking this stuff. If the data is there and it's truthful, that's all that matters and stuff like that. So the thing is that, as I've been pointing out, black men, especially in America, have it economically the worst in the country. Young black men and boomers, they differ in some aspects. And this is something that we don't quite understand, because when they talk about the success of the young black men out here, they always include data and information of the boomer class of black men, which you have to understand that even though the boomers went through a openly racist society, they still had access to opportunities that were given to them for political situations that occurred around that time. Example, the economy was actually on a growing rise after the New Deal. After World War II and the New Deal, we had an economic rising that kind of dwindled around the 70s until the point where now it went on a major decline, coming along with the Clintons. Yeah, and like I said, I listened to BGS too. BGS broke that down too, with the whole Glass-Steagall Act. But the thing is that, again, I don't still dismiss the data on this stuff. BGS, me and him disagree on certain aspects of the young black people versus the boomer class. And like I was saying, the boomers back then had economic advantages, even though they was in an open white supremacist society. And the thing was, America at that time was going through the war in Vietnam. So they had to make certain political moves that would come off as more of a kind of socialism type of aspect to our society, where we no longer are racists, and we no longer like a spitting image of the Nazis, because that's pretty much what America was. The Nazis get all that shit from America. So they had to kind of paint themselves in a different light. This is why you had things like Brown versus Board of Education and the Civil Rights Act, all these things that these laws they passed back then that really didn't do any goddamn thing. Because, like, for example, Brown versus Board of Education, schools stayed segregated openly into the 70s. So, I mean, come on, that was in the 50s. So, come on, think about it. The Civil Rights Act, what exactly did that do? Think about it. Dr. King died in 68. years after the Civil Rights Act was passed. So what exactly did it do? Think about it. So, but they had access to certain things because at that time, you didn't have the same amount of flood of immigrants coming in to take the jobs and stuff from black people. You didn't have that back then. They started, that's when it first started. Think about it. When they first gave us those economic privileges back then, that's when they first pushed that whole mass immigration that has kind of stumped on us now and future generations. And now you get the black millennial class, they suffering from it because now instead of hiring you for that low paying job at McDonald's, instead of hiring you as a black person, you know, who may not have a big resume of experience and shit, instead of hiring you, they hired this Hispanic person over here, who a legal immigrant or some shit. He's not even legal, something like that. They're doing this. They're doing this. It's not even legal to do this, but you see it all the time. I mean, I remember not too long ago, 7-Eleven it was a big lawsuit against 7-Eleven because they was found hiring a bunch of illegal immigrants. These big corporations do this. They do this. Come on, let's not pretend like they haven't been doing this. So when you put this all together, you see that black people today, younger black people today, don't have the real advantages that some of the boomers had, and the boomers overlooked. The black boomers overlooked these days. They were given government jobs. You gotta understand this. The boomers and the Generation X, they were given government jobs, well-paying government jobs with government benefits. You understand? They were given these jobs, and they did this. The white people who were in charge of these things, these white supremacists that was in charge of the politics spectrum at that time, did these things because these are not forms of wealth. You can't pass on a good paying job. You know what I'm saying? You can't pass it on. So it's not a threat for me to give you this good paying job because then I can always take it back away from you when I'm ready to, as they've done. As they have done. They did exactly that. So that's the key difference, is that, you know, the young blacks don't have that. They don't have access to these government jobs anymore like that. You understand? Especially black men. A lot of the opportunities were given to black women at that. Black women, yeah. They give black women these opportunities. Because black women been a buffer class. But here's a kicker, right? Black women are not really even balling like that, despite how much they look at how much they keep propping up black women. How black women, black girls rock and all this. Black women not even balling like that. They doing better than us. I gotta watch these damn branches. Walking damn branches in the middle of the sticking out on the sidewalk at nighttime, and, you know, poking the eye or something. You know what I mean? But back to what I was saying, like the black women, they prop them up, and they're not really balling like that. Oh, the black women got the college educated, the most ones to enroll in college and da. And like I think it's like only a third of them have college degrees. And it's another point that needs to be made too, because the what's his name, Edward Anderson, he mentioned this when I asked him, because he started talking about how, you know, we ain't listening, we ain't doing what we're supposed to do when it comes to, like, you know, starting businesses and supporting black businesses with capital, and you know, we don't know how to do it, and we ain't doing the right things and stuff. But here's the thing, right? Where are we gonna get this capital from? I asked this, where we get this capital from? Because like I said, the ego stuff don't really work on me. I'm done. I'm past that now. The whole ego stuff. I noticed that's been a tactic used by certain black people to kind of discredit other black people, to try to use certain ego talking points. You know, you see it kind of like from Cynthia G or something, like where she'll use something like, "Oh, you're a homosexual," you know, some dumb shit like that to kind of dismiss you and kind of attack your ego to make you kind of like back up. But that shit don't work with me. Oh yeah, you just broke. Nah, that shit don't work with me. I'm willing to accept that. Hey, I'm broke. I'm willing to accept that, because that's a reality. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to myself anymore about how balling we balling and all that. No. I'm not doing that. Cause that shit don't work on me. And the reality of it is, most young black people don't have housing. I'm talking about ownership. I'm not talking about public housing. I'm not talking about that, because even black men don't even have that in large numbers like that. Let's keep it real. Black men don't even have that, the public housing spectrum. Because my spouse, she works in that social work field, and she sees the firsthand the experience that black men have to go through to get housing and stuff like that, public housing, from the homeless shelters and stuff like that. The process, because most of that's prioritized to the black woman, especially the black women with kids who live in these homeless shelters. So, but we're not even talking about that. We're talking about ownership, housing ownership. And see, I was privileged. I had black parents who had a little bit of wealth, and my dad he had money and stuff like that. I had my dad in my life, and he had money. I lived with both of my parents, so I had. Oh, dog! Dog! You see this damn big dog? Whoa. Oh, you right there? Oh, cool. My bad, man. It's cool. It's all cool, man. Come on. Man, something happens every time, it seems like. Man, big ass pit bull right there. God damn. Damn. My little Shiba dog. I'm about to go Kung Fu. What's that little karate dog cartoon? Hong Kong Fu. Yeah, I'm about to go Hong Kong Fu on that little dog. You know what I'm saying? And that dog over there. Shit, you attack me and my dog, I'm about to go throw some kicks at you. Shit. You attack my dog, shit. My dog gonna be the only one getting bitten, you know what I'm saying? Shit. But, I digress. But anyway, I lost my damn train of thought. Yeah, like I was saying, the housing for black men is, young black men, it's not that much. And the problem is too, black people, we the main ones that's being pushed into going to college and shit like that, go get our college degree, because that's the only way you can get a job. That's what they use on us. And I pointed out this before, like T. Hassan Johnson, he put out an article not long ago talking about how high school dropouts, white male high school dropouts, make more than a black man on average with a master's degree. Understand this. Black men with master's degree makes the equivalent of a white male high school dropout. That's a very detrimental statement, man. I'm tired of this mud coming up the damn hill. But it's a problem. It's a pandemic here going on. So the thing is that for you to have to go to college and get like a bachelor's and a master's degree just to make what a white man makes coming out of high school, dropping out of high school, just to make what he makes dropping out of high school, that's a lot of debt that go into that. So my spouse is going to school she's getting a master's degree. So she'll be a social worker, a master's degree, right? And it's a lot of financial debt that come from that. It's a lot of financial debt from that. And then here's what the kicker is that when you go try to get finances for your house, when they pull up that credit score, they see that damn housing, they see that damn school loan right there. And that goes against you now when it comes to trying to get your damn housing and shit. Because I went through this process when I got my house. But fortunately for me, I didn't have college debt. Because I had scholarships to college and stuff like that. I didn't pass, so I didn't graduate. But I still had scholarships to go to college. So I didn't have that, but my spouse did, though. But at that time, she wasn't going to school for a master's at the time. She was going for a bachelor's. So it was economic debt there from that loan, but not to the same level as it is now going for a master's. And for a lot of people, you got to do that. For black people, you have to do that to get into that career field that you wouldn't study to get into. And I've heard different horror stories on this from certain people going to school to do certain things, and they putting all their work in and doing the right thing, only to find out that because they got a criminal record, they can't even do the same occupation that they've been going to school to do. So it's a lot of systematic things. This is the point I was making on Edward, on Mr. Edwards' page. I was trying to point out the fact that a lot of the shit that's going on is systematic. It's not because of no black male laziness or black male just ego and all this other shit. You just trying to fuck and just fight each other because we're trying to fuck. Yeah, we do a lot of shit like that. But also the barriers that are in place for us economically. Stop that, boy. Hold up, let me fix this. Come here, sit. He got tangled up. We fighting. Here, sit. Come here. Here, come here. Hold up. Trying to fix this dog. But relax, we can relax. I can fix his leash. He got tangled under me. Yeah, I don't really like this damn harness. Come on, over here. But sorry about that. But yeah, you because one of his suggestions was for black men to take out house equity loans. So take out loans on the equity of your house. Come here, damn, come here. Stop biting the leash, boy. Take out home equity loans, and here's a problem with that. Again, we're going back to what I said before. Most young black men don't have housing. They don't have houses of their own because of this. Because different methods are used to predatory loans are tilted towards us. Period. But black men especially can't get access to their finances to get our own housing and stuff like that. And I was talking to my spouse on this subject too. And one of the issues I like, this is why I agree with Tone Talks on again, it's like how the media, we always keep propping up these false images of us that black people have now become attached to the point where they believe this side of this shit. Like the rappers, the rap community, they kind of propped up drug dealers for a long ass time now. And now you got a lot of black people with like shows like Power. I like Power, you know what I'm saying? It's guilty pleasure, I like that. But you got shows like that, but you got black people out here thinking that most drug dealers could be balling like that. Most drug dealers balling like that. You got black people thinking this. Again, look at Howard, yeah. Come on, let's go back to this generation. But you got a lot of black people thinking that the hustler, because we use different terminologies, the hustler and shit like that. A lot of them, we think like, oh look, Byron Allen, he done rose up to the top. Jay-Z, he was a nigga in the hood who rose up to the top. Okay, yeah, so be it. I'm not taking nothing away from them on that. But what we keep leaving out of the equation is that it's the fact that each of these people that we keep propping up had a white person that helped them get to where they are. They had a white person. We keep factoring out, trying to leave that part of the equation out. The white person who handpicked them to get to where they are. And it's funny, Tariq Nasheed, he did a video back in the Mac Lesson days, a long time ago, called the Negro Lottery or something like that, I believe it was called. And this pointed out a lot of the same things that I'm talking about here. Is that you got your number chosen, but in that video there, he was talking about with Stephen A. Smith, how the media the white woman came down on him when his number was chosen for in a negative connotation, but there's also a positive connotation to that same thing, where your lottery number get chosen by the white people for you to rise up to be a success image for the rest of the blacks. You know what I'm saying? To be used as the catalyst, well, not catalyst, but the token Negro for the rest of the blacks. So they do the same thing when they choose which black person going to be successful. We see that all the time with the NBA and stuff like that. There's so many players, so many black people out here who probably just as good as Jordan, but they'll never make it to the NBA, never, because their number wasn't chosen, because they didn't do certain thing to get in the system or something the way that the white establishment wants them to do. They didn't go to college. It's a number of different damn things. They will never become an NBA player making billions of dollars because, hey, the white person didn't choose them. So that same principle applies here too. So that's what I'm getting at here, is that a lot of them, we keep propping them up, the Jay-Z's and all these people and stuff like that, as if they represent the majority of us, as if they represent the majority of black people, and what black men can do and stuff like that, as if that's actually realistic to what happens to most of us black men out here. It's not. It's not. And, you know, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but it's not realistic to say, hey, Byron Allen was able to get a radio station and do this and become a billionaire. Okay, so all the rest of us niggas should be able to do that too. No. N-O. And the drug dealers, again, most black people who are drug dealers aren't balling like ghosts on power. So that you need to get that narrative out the damn way too. Because I'm tired of that too. Oh, I was hustling in the streets. You know, you young black folks, y'all ain't hustling in the streets hard enough. No, these niggas are hustling in the streets hard, but they go to jail. The system don't play that. Most black people don't become successful in that shit. Most of them go to jail. It was funny, the Rick Ross thing with Tone Talks, that Rick Ross documentary, point this shit out perfectly. How the Rick Ross, he was pretty much used by the damn government, pretty much, to funnel all the drugs into the black society. He was used. Your brother with the Amazon, anyway. Yep, Amazon. Come on, boy. How you doing? But yeah, so those are not really examples of reality and adequate tactics and stuff, because again, you're using examples of things that are not realistic, and sitting in his own little bubble of exceptions to the rule. And I think I mentioned earlier about how black men, oh, that dog again. Come on, boy. How young black men have a 40% unemployment rate. I mentioned this before, with the 40% unemployment rate for black men, and how we constantly get mislabeled with that 5% unemployment shit. There's these misleading numbers, and this is why the data when I was talking on Edward's channel, the data is important. Yeah, Tone Talk, I don't agree with everything he says and shit. You know, about the whole, we have to vote for the Democrats, we just have to support them. I don't agree with all that shit, but at the same time, I do agree with the data. Because if you don't have the data, people can keep propping out misinformation. And if you prop it up long enough and with the right mouthpiece to speak this stuff, like a celebrity or some shit, the black masses are going to start believing this shit. And when they start believing this shit, then you're going to have problems, because then you're going to have Negro thinking that, again, it's our own fault for why we are in this situation we're in. It's our own fault why, you know, we are so economically deprived. You know, it's our own fault. We just lazy. I've heard the same stuff from brothers out here, from some of the older brothers out here in Baltimore. Baltimore is like it's a real terrible condition. And you have Negroes out there was talking the same stuff about how, you know, the black men, they just lazy. That's why they don't have jobs. It's not because they can't get work. It's because they just lazy. I had older black women tell me this that I was working with. They just lazy. That's ridiculous. You see, you have shit like that, and it leaves out the 40% which is a very systematic number. Yeah, that's systematic. That's just a 40% black men lazy and shit. And then you always hear people popping up. Oh, you need to get a trade. You need to get a trade. You know, man, I was doing the trade. I was doing the trades. I was doing that. I know from experience how a lot of that work. Those unions and stuff for the trades, yeah, they can get you work, but they can have a lot of favoritism and white supremacy in those unions, in those trade unions. Like you'll see favoritism of Hispanics over black people now, because they're taking over the trade unions. And then in things like the electrical unions, the Anglo-white, he's dominant. He don't want you in there. You know what I'm saying? They got little maneuvers to try to factor you out without coming off as racist or something like that. And when those don't work, they got to turn to the racism and just say, fuck, nah, we can't take you. Sorry. They'll make up something. They'll make up an excuse. I've went through this. Because, like I said, I was privileged enough to have my parents in my life, so I didn't have a criminal record, you know, growing up. So, and I don't have I'm pretty good at my math and science, so I'm pretty good in that. So they can't really throw one of these little tests at me and shit like, oh, you can't pass this test. Sorry, we can't take you. They can't do that with me. They can't do that. I aced them shits. I remember going into one of the electrical union. They had a little panel meeting that you had to go through to get into the joint. And after I had an interview, that panel interview, the one black man there, he pulled me to the side, telling me some stuff that I should probably try to do. And he kind of whispered and pulled me to the side because he already knows what the gist is. They're gonna do everything they could to stop me from getting in there, and they did that. They can't do it with no tests. They can't do it with no drug screening and none of that shit they try to do and the polygraph. They can't do that shit with me. I don't got no history and shit on that. So they just say, fuck it. Hey, they'll say, hey, we lost your name in the system. Be patient. Or sorry, we got too many people, so we just told somebody else. You know, they do some shit like that. I've seen it happen so many damn times. That's why I know firsthand how difficult it is as a black man to get a job. Right here in America. I'm from DC, so I know how difficult it is for a black man to get a job, especially when he might be smart and he might not have a criminal record. So I can imagine a brother who might not be as probably as skilled as I am probably at taking some of these tests and shit. They might be knowledgeable about the work though. That's what really should matter. But they might not be as knowledgeable about how to pass a test, and they might have a criminal record. They might have a history of doing drugs in the past. A long time ago, too. And all that can be used against you. Because they're doing polygraph tests. They get into the fire department, they do polygraph tests. Polygraph tests. And you know damn well all the white people be doing drugs and shit. But somehow they manage to bypass the damn polygraph test to get employed and all this kind of shit in these fire departments and shit. I went through that same stuff, too. I've heard all that shit. Hey, I lost your name in the system. Sorry. Like, what? I'm like, what? Man, they'll find any damn excuse why I did not bring you on as a black man. So before, it was an open racist type of thing, dynamic with the boomers. But now, we live in a closet racist, benign neglect era. We went from that Jim Crow to a benign neglect era, which might be just as dangerous, if not more so, than the damn Jim Crow, because now I can do the same shit I was doing to you before in Jim Crow, but I can do it to you now, and you can't say anything about it. You got to prove that it was race intent behind it. You got to prove that racism exists. You got to prove these damn things, because you got niggas now saying shit like we post race. You got niggas saying this, and the benign neglect has become so influential that you have niggas now saying, hey, we post-racial. You saw that with that, what's that brother that got killed out there in Florida? In the car, with the white guy shot into the car. Talking about somebody playing thug music. Remember that case? I can't think of the names of it right now on top of my head. But you had that there. Come on. So these are things that we gotta go through now, and a lot of the boomers, unfortunately, dismiss a lot of this stuff because in their minds, white person ain't saying "fuck you, nigga, get the fuck out of here," because they're not saying that to you. It's better, but they're doing the same damn thing. Hey, you gotta go. Sorry, we got too many people. Or sorry, we want you to reapply for the job to give these Hispanics a chance and stuff like that. It was an article recently with T.S. Johnson when he pointed out it was a video by one of these conservative what was he? I forgot what he was. Damn. But I think he was associated with Trump. I don't have it in front of me right now because Twitter didn't put me in Twitter jail. Yeah. Twitter came at me, put me in Twitter jail. Come on, boy. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Come on, Vince. My dog over here doing his thing. But shit, I'm walking into a damn white neighborhood now. God damn. White part of the area. But anyway, like I was saying, what was that? I leave off that. I forgot what I was saying. Damn. We. Come on, boy. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Damn. I was talking about some of the those economic disadvantages with and the boomers and stuff, like the openness of it. It's pretty much still the same. It's just the only thing is, as I explained on BGS channel when I was on there, I was allowed to be on there, because angry man, he can't articulate certain things, so he kind of throw the block at you, try to block hammer on you and stuff like that, because he can't really articulate really any damn thing. But what the thing is that the hurdle that we had to go over, I like to use an analogy. The hurdle came down, it got lowered. The hurdle got lowered. You still got to jump over a hurdle, but it got lowered from the... Oh, get out of that water, boy. God damn. A dog drinking damn dirty ass water. But the hurdles got lowered from the civil rights era and Jim Crow. The hurdles got lowered, but that little pool of water behind the hurdle, I don't know what it's called, the little pool of water behind the hurdle that you got to also jump over, got elongated. So in our minds, hey, the hurdle came down. So we, should be, the new generation should be good. These people got camera on the damn mailbox and shit. Cold out here, sorry. But the old boomers, the black boomers, they thinking, hey, the hurdle came down. So these younger Negroes must be doing something wrong if they can't be successful, because the hurdle is no longer there. The hurdle came down from our generation. The hurdle's down. But what they forget to tell you is that the pool behind the hurdle got elongated. So before, they had the hurdle high enough so that most black people couldn't jump over the damn hurdle, so you failed anyway. Now they lowered the hurdle down, but they did it in a way where the pool got extended, so that even if you do jump over that damn hurdle, you land your ass right there in the damn pool, and then you get disqualified again. So it's like, damn, nothing really changed. It just transformed. It didn't get eliminated. It transformed. The racism, the open racism, it didn't get eliminated. It just transformed. We saw this clear as day under Obama. And this is kind of the beauty of Trump too, becoming president too. Because like I said, I didn't vote. I don't support either, Hillary or Trump. So, but Trump becoming president kind of woke up a lot of black people. You had a lot of black people talking that dumb shit under Obama that, with the whole post-racial shit. They was talking a lot of that shit, like racism don't exist no more. They was talking a lot of that dumb shit. because we live in the benign neglect policy era for so long that a lot of Negroes think that, again, hey, the older generation did it. You younger generation, you should be able to do it too. You should be able to do it even better. There's no more hurdles, like I just said. And that's really not true. There's no truth to that. Again, they had certain privileges given to them because of that imagery of America being pretty much a Nazi power in the world, while trying to also be the social justice of the world, like with the war in Vietnam. So that's a lot of that is why they gave certain privileges and benefits as a way to mask the whole racist history of the United States. But you had apartheid, white supremacist apartheid, going all the way openly racist all the way up into the 90s. And you saw how the maneuvers they made to also try to eliminate the racist history of apartheid South Africa. Like they made Nelson Mandela president. You remember that? Same exact thing they did over here. They did that same exact thing with Obama. Hey, look, we got a black man president. Racism gone. It's the exact same thing. Exact same tactics. White supremacy, they really do the exact same tactics over and over again. Because they work. Why change something that already works? It's shown to work. And that's something I try to get to. Why I say we should drop the ego stuff. Because again, if we ain't being real about our condition and the problem that we have, we're not going to come up with real solutions that are realistic and adequate. We're not going to come up with the solutions that we need. Because we keep lying to ourselves. And the media, they're going to keep parroting on the lies. Because that's something they want to promote. That black people are successful. I think Tone Talk did a video not too long ago. Well, it was a while ago, but showing an article of how young black men are doing successful. And he pointed out that the data that they was using was boomers. It included boomer information. Because young black men are not doing successful out here. They're not. And it has nothing to do with us being lazy or stupid or any other dumb stuff that they try to say to justify why it is like that. And that's my main problem I had with Edward Anderson's page, video that he did. That's my main issue I had there, was because, again, that narrative doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't get us anywhere. Yeah, I might be more successful than a lot of other black people, and a lot of other black men especially. That don't take away from the plight that me as a black man got to go through, and other black men have to go through, didn't have my same privileges that I had. You know what I'm saying? And I care about the people. I care about my people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, when somebody asks who cares, yeah, I care. I care about my people and stuff like that, because future generations are gonna have to take the burden of all of this. My future kids might not be as successful like I was or something, or past generations were. Like I wasn't as successful as my dad was. You know what I'm saying? So the future generation might have it even worse than where I am at. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want that future generation and my future generation to go out here in a world where they have it even worse than we do, but it's covered up. That's a terrible system. Benign neglect is terrible. It's a terrible system because it's more dangerous, because now you have to prove racism. It's like civil asset forfeiture to some extent. It's like, hey, you gotta prove that your shit didn't have nothing to do with a crime. I'm gonna leave that to you to prove that. I'm gonna take your shit and I'm gonna leave it to you to prove that it didn't have nothing to do with a crime. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I'm about to log out of here. But thanks for those who check on my videos. I'll see you next time.